Hello, everyone, and welcome to Plate Stack Chat. Now, before we go any further, I have to give a very special shout out to a wonderful listener / viewer of Plate Stack Chat, Mary Carmen. She's been a loyal supporter of the show back in the very beginning when it was with Tom, Sam, and myself. And then during our long break, she kept asking when it would come back. Well, she's very kindly sent this lovely t-shirt all the way from Mexico and is also out actively recruiting guests for the show. So once again, a huge shout out and a big thank you to the lovely Mary Carmen. Now, just in case you are not Mary Carmen and this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Jason, or Jason CF Media on all the socials. And every single week, I grab some wonderful people in the world of fitness to join me for a chat. And this week, I have two incredible guests. So let's bring them out right now. First up, we have a CrossFit Level 2 coach who also enjoys poking fun just a little bit at fitness influencers on her account, It's a Gym, Not a Runway. She's an incredible athlete that you might have seen throwing down at the likes of the Legends Championships, Wodapalooza, or competing in Grid League, although you won't see her doing any of that right now as she is far too busy growing a little human. It is the fabulous Jess Krezmien.
Hello, thanks so much for having me.
Jess, welcome. Very happy to have you. I've got some questions, some comments, some observations. But before we get to any of that, we need to bring out our second guest. She is one of the owners and coaches of CrossFit Southampton. Southampton, of course, a wonderful part of England. I hear some of the best people come from there. She also likes to dabble a little bit in Masters competitions herself. In fact, she finished second in the Masters division of the CrossFit Games in 2018 and 2019. She then went on to win it in 2021, and just to prove that it wasn't a fluke, she did it again in 2022 and 2023. Please welcome three-time CrossFit Games Masters champion, the legendary Kelly Friel.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Kelly, so first of all, we've got to address this immediately. What's happened to your voice?
Oh, I've been hit with a cold, so I'm very, very croaky. We just had a short trip to Croatia and we came back and my husband caught it and I was like, yay, I've avoided it. And then yesterday it hit me. So I'm gradually losing my voice.
Now, is that because you let him back in the house? You should have kept him outside. Said, I've avoided it. You stay away. When you can speak properly, you're welcome back into the house. I mean, I saw some of the pictures from your trip, so probably it was worth it. I mean,
yeah, it was a beautiful place, but I'm just suffering now from the cold.
What I really liked is obviously Nocco released a new flavor, and so all the people are posting up there kind of with a can of Nocco. So you posted one in a beautiful location, not Southampton, but then your daughter also had to post one.
Yeah.
And I was just like, one of them's on holiday and one of them is clearly not. Anyway, lovely. Jess, how are you? Congratulations, first of all.
Thanks.
Congrats.
Thank you.
And very impressive performance over the weekend doing Murph.
Oh, thanks.
with a weight vest and some additional weight as well. So that's...
if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. Why not?
Amazing. Kelly, did you do Murph?
I didn't, no.
Okay.
It would have been my first day back training since semi-finals. And I was like, I don't think it's a good idea. I think I would have been destroyed for a week and most probably even worse than now.
Yeah. I mean, see, at least you've got that voice that can kind of people be kinder and more forgiving to you. I didn't do it because they programmed it on Monday at CrossFit Bath. So it was like the bank holiday Monday one, but it was a bank holiday Monday. So I took a 5 a.m. coach to London with the kids and we went to like the Natural History Museum and the Science Museum and all of that. So we left Bath at 5. We got back about midnight. And
wow.
I was very tired.
A long day.
Yes. Yeah. But it's okay because the kids are 5 and 10, so it's so easy. Anyway, semi-finals. You mentioned that so you were on holiday. I saw this. You're on holiday, but did you also make it to France for a little bit?
No.
No, you just had people in the crowd taking pictures for you.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is my video really? Someone said my video is bad. Is my video really bad?
It's your video is pants. You know what that means? You like just freeze like here and there, but then you come back to life.
Really? Because on my side it's absolutely fine.
Oh.
Okay.
Like we can hear you, but you do
Yeah.
keep like freezing.
Just make sure you freeze in like a really weird position, because that's more fun.
Oh, he's frozen.
Okay. I'm back. Is that any better, the same, or worse?
Well, you're back, I think.
Oh no. Oh no. What's going on? Am I? Can you see me? You can hear me? You can see me? Or am I gone?
We can hear you.
Go.
Is the video still bad? I'm gonna take that as a yes.
Yeah,
Oh.
Jess, is it going funny for you?
Yeah, like he freezes and comes back. I can hear everything.
Hold on.
I just thought it was.
I think I know what it might be.
I can't see the chat.
No, I can't see the chat either.
Okay, I thought I was able to see it. Maybe I'll cheat and go on YouTube at the same time.
Okay, hold on. That might have fixed it. Okay. We'll see if that's fixed it or not. If it hasn't, then I've got no idea what's going on.
Jake said just sit still and we won't be able to tell.
I know. I was like, is he moving? Is he not moving? What's happening?
I think it's just because I'm on with too many incredible athletes, and it's just now even my videos decided it's not fit enough to keep up. So I don't know what's going on. It's the same setup I use every week, every time. My mic messed up earlier as well, so maybe it's code for get some new equipment.
Maybe it's my cold coming through.
Maybe that's what you've infected the live stream. Oh no. Okay. Well,
move over here so I can see. Here we go.
I will just sit very, very still and hardly move my lips as I talk, and hopefully it won't distract you too much. I don't know. Okay. Well,
I'm moving.
Oh, that's interesting. It's telling me that my connection is unstable. Maybe that's why. I don't know what's going on. Okay. This is chat amongst yourselves for a few seconds. But I can hear everything. I'll just be in the little back room thing. I'll be back in a second.
Fair enough.
He's gone.
So now it's just our podcast, so we can ask each other questions, and now like he's just going.
Yeah, but I can still mute you at any moment, so just be careful.
All right, so we're not in charge. We're just here.
All
right, you can. There.
No,
It's Georgie. It's my giant gorilla. I won him at Dave and Buster's, and I refuse to get rid of him. And my husband has tried to throw him out several times, but he's here forever. So Eddie, if you're watching, Georgie is now part of the group. I realized he was on the couch, and I'm like, maybe I should hide him. But yeah,
he's a biggie.
Yeah, it took a lot. It took a lot of dollars and a lot of patience at I call it my old lady game. The one with you put the coins in, and then it pushes the coins over the edge, and then you're like, oh my God, there's more coins. And then you keep just a never ending cycle of, yes, that's how I won him. And so now he's here forever. After you get rid of him, he stay there.
He takes up a chair.
Yeah, I know. He just kind of hangs out on the couch.
Oh, he's back.
I am back. It's still telling me your Well, what's weird is it says your connection is unstable. If you're on Wi-Fi, try plugging it in. It's plugged in. So that's.
Try plugging it in again. Did you try turning it on or not?
I might. I'm going for a.
Oh,
anyway.
Hey, Jake. I remember Karen Dawkins from last year. Hey, Karen. Oh,
And we'll have questions over the next hour.
Yeah, Jake, take over. Start asking questions.
Yeah, you said you have questions. Just fill the void for a little bit while he figures it out.
Till then. You don't seem to be. Oh no, you frozen again.
It's because you said I wasn't.
Yeah.
Hold on.
He's going back.
Just,
So which state are you in, Jess?
I'm in Florida.
Florida.
Originally from New York, but snow. So
Moved to
left.
the south.
Yeah.
Are you near the theme parks?
I'm like 20 minutes from Busch Gardens. Disney, like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too bad.
Nice and warm.
Yeah. Where are you at?
Oh, so if you say London.
Okay. Yeah.
Then,
so I heard him say that. I was like, oh, that must be kind of cool. Okay.
Yeah. And then like about an hour and a half drive from London.
Okay.
Okay. Is that any better or worse? If it's worse, then it's
about
something
the
wrong
same.
with So I've now moved it onto my phone. It's hotspotting off my phone.
Oh.
I was like, maybe there's something wrong with my Wi-Fi, but maybe there's just something wrong with my computer today. Okay. Well, I'll keep. I don't know what I'll do. Retire from this. Clearly, that's.
Right. Okay. I'm reading the questions.
Oh.
I have so many. Jess, when did you start CrossFit? For real, I started in 2015. I say for real because I found like a Groupon in 2013 and like kind of did it, but then they closed and I tried to go to like a bro gym and do it for a year and that didn't really work. And then, so yeah, 2015 is when I for real started. I'm on the Isle of Man in case you're wondering. Oh, I was wondering.
Okay. All right. Well, do you know the worst thing is I can see and hear you both perfectly.
Yeah, I can see I can see everything else perfectly. It's just you. You're the problem.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know, I might just.
What age were you then? Oh, math. 29? 30? 29? I think I was 29. I was old. So I'm 38 now. So I think when I started, what is this? 20? Yeah, that sounds right. 29.
29
is when I started. That was in 2013. I don't know, 2015. I can't math.
I mean, it was on a Groupon, was it?
Was it?
Was it on a Groupon, did you say?
Yeah, so because I was like, I played sports my whole life and like played sports in college and like I was like a bro and I'm like, I don't need anybody to tell me what to do. I know how to fitness. And I got really bored and had like an identity crisis after college because I'm like, I'm not an athlete. What do I do? And we just like found a Groupon and I was like, I'm not gonna go do CrossFit and like I know how to fitness. And then I went to one class and I was like, okay, because they're like, oh yeah, you could do the guy weight and this and that, and I'm just like, I can. And like it was, I still remember the first workout I ever did. It was great. It was terrible and awesome, and that was it. Yeah.
And then you were in.
And then I drank the Kool-Aid, and that was it from there.
I think something's wrong with my computer because it also told me my microphone is disconnected again. So
no, we can hear you loud.
We got it. We're taking over.
Yeah.
It's all right.
I'm just gonna go like this. I'm just gonna go no camera, and then it won't distract you. If you can hear me, that's fine. To be honest, I wish I'd done it like this from the very first show. Especially the other day, I clipped something and put it on Instagram, and Savan was playing it on his podcast, and he paused it, and he was talking about something I'd said, and all I could think is, "Oh, your stupid face is just so big up there, and everyone can see it." And so this is much nicer, being hidden behind the screen. I'll have to work out what's going on with this.
Flashing.
Yeah. Yeah. As long as you can hear me clearly, that's the most important thing. I had some interesting questions, but I mean, Jake has done a very good job of.
He's rapid firing. Rapid fire. I don't know if we missed any.
I wanted to ask about Kelly's back.
Okay. Yeah. So it's better. It's better. The Tuesday before so semi-finals were released on Wednesday night. On the Tuesday, I did some front squats in between coaching, and I went down for my first front squat because it was sets of 2. And I thought, oh, something doesn't feel right, but went for my second. And then as soon as I re-racked the bar, I was like, I've done something. I managed to get in with the physio the following day, but I literally could just roll out of bed on the Wednesday morning. So if you'd have asked me then if I thought I was going to be able to compete and take part, it would have been a no-no. So had advice obviously from the physio, rested until the Friday, and then I kicked off with just 1 a day. But I had to leave for me, the worst one till last because it had front squats in and I just didn't know how my back was going to be. But it's so much better.
Yeah. And I mean, the result was good in the end anyway, right?
Yeah. I think if it was still top 10, I think I would have most probably said, you know what, I'm not going to do them because I would have had to have pushed, so much harder and it just wasn't worth the risk. So because it was top 40, I was like, do you know what, I'll give it a go. I'll see how I do. And I just took day by day and, after every workout, if it was or halfway through, if it was hurting, then I would have pulled the plug. But luckily I managed to complete all 4. Not to the best, what I would have hoped, but, I did all I could.
Yeah, I suppose the good thing is that in the Masters division, probably everybody's got a bad back. So you feel like, oh, okay, I'm sure we will all be fine at this point. Talking of it being top 40 now, I'm really curious to know how you feel about the change from it being kind of same weekend of the games, being at the games, sort of that whole environment, to now being its own separate thing, especially for you having to travel so far as well and the kind of the expense to get out and over there. Yeah, I don't know. Just is it nice that you're going to have kind of this whole thing highlighting the Masters and there's going to be more people there and it's going to be a bigger comp, or is it kind of, but it's not the games?
My honest opinion at the moment, because obviously until we go and we see what they have to offer, is it's not going to be the same as the games. The games was amazing that you had everyone together. We could stay behind, we could watch the individuals, the teams, the adaptive. This year it's just going to be Masters, which from one side it's great because it means more Masters can go, and then we've got more UK athletes going this year, which is great. But like you said, it's a big trip across the pond. But I do think it is going to be different to the games, yes. But I wanted to support it this year. And not just say I'm not going to do it because it's not with everyone. I wanted to go support that legends because I think they're taking it on, and hopefully they can help grow the Masters and make it an amazing event.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point, that especially considering you've won it three years in a row, to not go would be quite a slight on sort of the competition, and be like, well, if it's not the games, I'm not going to bother. Yeah. So and obviously that's not going to help things grow.
No, exactly. So. And I wanted to show my support because I think the guys are trying to grow the sport, especially within the Masters, and take it on, and hopefully it's going to be a really fun comp.
Yeah. Will you be attending, Jess? People on? You've been to the you've worked with them before, right?
I have no. It's in. I have no idea. I don't think I'm allowed to fly at that point. I can't do anything fun right now. Kind of sucks. But yeah, I don't think I'm allowed to fly. I mean, I could drive there. It's not that far of a drive. Texas or where is it? Where it's in Arizona. Oh, that's a
it's Alabama.
Oh, I'm thinking of Legends. Oh yeah, Alabama. Okay, maybe I could drive there. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be super cool to see because there's just so many people. I mean, I've done Legends for 3 years, and it's by far my favorite competition every single year. But I can definitely, when they first announced it, I was like, really, this is the year that I'm not going to be able to compete, and this is the year you change it. But I think it'll be cool because it's going to have a lot more highlight on the Masters. But I definitely agree with you. Like it's not the same. But hopefully they kind of know that and they'll do a good job of like trying to make it at least give it some sort of that feel, so it's a little bit, still similar. You'll get more. I feel like you'll get more eyes on you, and you'll have like, I remember being at Legends when we had like Sean Woodland and Annie Sakamoto there, like saying my name, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, these people are saying my name. This is really weird. So hopefully they'll make it feel like, as similar as possible for you guys.
Yeah, hopefully they'll make it feel like as special as what it feels like to go to the games.
Yeah.
I feel like particularly last year, I guess it only really felt special if you were there. So like if you were there, you were like, oh, we're games athletes, and you're walking down a corridor and bumping shoulders with Justin Medeiros and be like, oh, so sorry, because we're the same, we're games athletes. Like there's this vibe that you're all there. But from the outside, it was like, oh, there were masters there as well. Yeah, I kind of saw that. Like it was very. So if this is an opportunity to really see the best of the masters within CrossFit, and it is streamed and we can watch it and people can kind of get behind it and cheer on their their favorite masters athletes, it could be really good. And there it could have that kind of, oh, this is like watching the games, this is like watching the the elite individual or the team competition at the games, versus oh yeah, they were also there but it was sort of on a tiny camera somewhere else. So it could be good.
Yeah, it's like giant. Yeah. Plus, I feel like because I've been to the games a couple of times and like trying to watch everything, and like a lot of times if I wanted to watch age group, it would always be like a conflict with like, the individuals or teams, and I'm like, what do I do? Which one? And if I was with like other people, they'd want to go, and I'm like, well, okay, fine. And like you'd have to be battling back and forth. So at least now, like all eyes are on the Masters. It's just gonna be we have to make sure we get the support and do whatever we can, and be like, hey, this is existing. Go watch it and see what we can do. So.
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be good. I think, who was it? I saw a comment. Where was it? It was Jake again. Here we are. What was it? It says, "It's up to us. It's up to us now to make it big. We aren't the sideshow anymore." Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I mean it's true.
Yeah, and type one listeners. So I'm reading this, but then I've also seen Jon's comment. That we'll address in a second.
Hopefully they'll have a good stream. Yeah, hopefully they'll have a good stream.
The worst thing is I'm very critical of CrossFit streaming abilities, and then today it's backfired on me because Jon, I had video and it was, I don't know what was going on. I'm scared to watch it back later because I think it's probably worse than I imagined it was. But apparently very, very bad. But I might try and fix that. All right, let's see. So let's speak to Jess for a second about some of your achievements this weekend. So we already mentioned Murph. I also saw another video you posted today of you doing some training.
Oh yeah.
Was it a grid sort of trial? What was it? I'm trying to think now what it was, but it was a lot. It was fast. And how far along are you now?
21 and a half weeks, so like 5 months and some change.
Nice. And I'm sure everyone on social media and the internet is incredibly supportive of.
Oh yeah. As long as they don't hate CrossFit and don't hate pregnant chicks, you're fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I'm assuming that's slight sarcasm from my Murph video and the 500 comments of hate that I got.
Well, you never know. You never know. I mean, it's funny because like Tia, when she did they're called the open workouts and was pregnant, and it was like, I remember watching there's a very good YouTube channel called Shredded Sports Science, and he's very good at kind of going into the science thing, and he highlights a lot of the kind of crazy fitness influencers and trends and things like that. And I remember even him pulling it up once, Tia doing these workouts, and was sort of explaining to the people that, like, she is not just an average, what she's doing,
Yeah.
for you that might be extreme, but actually for her, with the capacity she's built and all the things she's done over the years, this is, you know, not madness. I guess.
Yeah, it's fairly normal for her, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So so I guess it's the same for you. I mean, those burpees look fast, but if anybody's seen you doing burpees during a grid match, they'll know that you're
Yeah. Are you talking about the one I posted today with like the 3 boxes?
yeah.
Yeah, those felt very slow, but yeah. So
Yeah.
there'll actually be 2 other girls with me. Like it's synchro. So like the 3 of us are moving around the boxes. Like we have a whole new match this season. So that's part of some of the new things that we'll be doing.
Yeah.
Is that on
And we have to wear a
Gridley?
vest. So
Is that
Did
on
you see-
Gridley, Jess?
Gridley, yep.
Yeah.
Have you watched
Yeah.
any grid league, Kelly?
I have watched some. It is bonkers. I'm like, wow.
It makes CrossFit feel very slow and boring. Yeah.
Okay.
Slow and boring. Oh, I don't know about that.
It's very different.
What a statement to make right in the middle of semi-finals weekend.
I know, right? Like watching somebody do like 50 wall balls versus somebody like sprinting and doing back up rises and just like crazy stuff. You're like, what am I watching right now? Like it's a different, very different world.
Oh, grid masters would be fun.
A lot of us are over 30. Like most of my team, we were joking because we got a couple new girls that are newish girls who are like 18. Like, good, you're bringing our average age down because like a lot of us are old now. That's like considered like, oh, you're 30 something. Oh, you can't play grid. Like most of us are over 30. So, yeah.
I'm assuming this is addressed because of you, Jess, but my shoulders are feeling tiny.
You know, it's got a good pump on today. I don't know.
Yeah. That's the real reason my video is not working. I was intimidated, and I was like, "Oh, I just have to disappear."
Okay.
Yeah, as long as you can hear me, I'm fine. Is the audio clear? Is it like clear and,
Yep.
and crisp? Or okay, I'm just sorry because the problem is I gesture as well while I'm talking, and even now I see my arms like waving around. And no one can see this apart from me. But we've got Kelly's ill. I'm got no video. Jess, you're running this show tonight.
Perfect. Sorry.
Okay. Well, I don't know. It's thrown me off completely. The other week, I was the episode felt really strange because just before we'd done like an hour and a half with Bill Grunler and John Young and Mike Halpin and all of that, and we'd been talking about what had happened with Rebecca Vitterson and what should CrossFit's policy be when someone gets injured on the competition floor if they want to continue and all of that. So it's been quite a heavy conversation for about an hour and a half, and then I had about a half an hour break before the light, fun Plate Stack Chat show started. So I was very tired and very out of it at that point. And then I was like, "Oh, this week's great. I feel ready. I'm excited to get Kelly and Jess on. This would be. I've been looking forward to this chat." And then the whole video thing has thrown me off completely. I'm not a consummate professional, it turns out. So that's worrying. Anyway, just pop up a photo. Oh, Jake will let me use one of his. Okay, it's probably better. I wonder if I could find it. No, I can't. I can't distract myself doing anything else. So Kelly, we've talked about you going back to the games this year or the Legends Masters. As long as the back is intact, but out of CrossFit Southampton, you're training up some pretty impressive competitors down in that box. So, has Tom got back now from France? Is he?
Yeah, he's back. Yeah, he's ready to get ready for next year. Let's say.
Has this sort of like? Have you noticed any? I mean, I get it's really early to say like, have you noticed a change? But has he come back sort of more fired up after this, being like, right, I know what I need to work on now. I know,
I
what I
haven't
need to
seen
do.
him in person because obviously
seen him
I've not been there.
He's hiding from you.
But I have spoken to him and he's like, yeah, I know what I need to work on and stuff like that. And I've got more fire in my belly to like make it back next year and make it more of an improvement on like where he finished. But just making it there was amazing because as we know, Europe is such a stacked region. So for him, making it there was just amazing. And just getting the experience, because he's so young. He's got so many years ahead of him. Yeah, I think he's going to be amazing.
People making fun of me in the chat over here again. This feels like Jason is in hiding.
Still wants
to do a podcast. Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. There is part of me that quite likes it.
You're hiding.
Yeah, I feel it's really nice. Try to get on my. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I've been just trying to. I need to send myself the link to my iPad. Hold on, I will do that. All right, I will do this. Okay. In the meantime, can
do a front double.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I feel like I should charge for things like that. I don't know. That's not what people do. You get some weird requests.
I'm trying to multitask. Hold on 1 second.
He's trying to get a picture.
Just put a picture of it.
I'm just trying to pull up the video on my iPad so I can connect video on here, but maybe keep the audio on here. So we will see. In the meantime, Kelly, what's training look like for you then now, between now and the games, and kind of, I guess, balance with training as well, and life, and running the box, and having a family, and recovering from illness? Like, you got a lot going on.
Yeah, a lot going on. I'm going up to see my coach, like, not next week, the week after, so we'll have a good sit down, and then make a plan for sort of like the coming months. On Monday just gone, that was supposed to be my week of easing back, right. And I managed to, I think it was 36 minutes of assault bike intervals and some push press. And then I was like, yay. Then Tuesday, I've got a little bit more. And then I was like, nope, I'm out. So I'm just going to see how I feel by the weekend. And hopefully, if I feel a little bit better, just do something light at the weekend, and then hopefully start afresh on Monday. And then the following week, I'll go up and sit down with my coach, and then just make a bit of a plan moving forward.
Who is coaching you now?
Andy Edwards.
It is Andy Edwards.
Yeah.
UK manager, Andy Edwards.
He is now.
From Dragon Athletics in Cardiff. Yeah. How does he have time?
I don't know.
This guy.
I know, he's going to be a busy man. Mind you, I'm quite low maintenance, so I just do, and yeah, I'm not one of these that's on the phone 24/7. It's like, give me my program, I'll get on with it, and if I've got a problem, I'll message. But if not, it's fine.
Okay. According to you, you're low maintenance.
By myself. So.
Would he agree that you are low maintenance? Or...
I think he would. Yeah.
I think he would. You hope he would.
I'd hope he would. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Do we start addressing these chat comments? Okay, guys, ask about the IG requests they get. Oh, I don't know if I want to ask. I'm worried. I know what the internet's like.
What's Jason doing now?
I'm here. I'm talking.
He's leading the pack.
Yeah, he's I've done, if you must know, is I've emailed myself a link so I can open it on here, because I haven't got it all set up. And for some reason it's decided to open it in the wrong place. Okay, I was wondering if we would get overwhelmed by support from Southampton on the live chat today, because the couple of times I have seen you compete in person, I've been at Sid Origins with Southampton, and you always bring just there's a lot of people there spectating, which is lovely, but you can always see where CrossFit Southampton is, because they're the ones with like banners and signs and just bringing a lot of noise around the competition floor.
Yeah.
I think this year it was you and it was Bristol North, and
Yeah, I think.
and I was
Yeah.
I was
Motion.
speaking. Oh, well, they've got I mean they've got 3 teams or 4 teams competing, so teams of 12 as well. So you can imagine how many people. That's just their team is enough to cheer people up.
Yeah.
I was said something to the ones at Bristol North, and I was like, oh, it's amazing. You've got such a such amazing support stuff. You in Southampton, and I said, obviously you've not got quite as far to travel. And they said, oh, well, what about Bath? They're local, and where are their people? And I'm like, whoops, me, I'm here. So, what's this say here? Kelly is a master of the grill. Any secrets she's willing to share? Clydesdale's a big fan, Kelly. I know this.
Scott. I met him, I think it was my first year, or possibly it was my second year at the games. And we were staying at the Staybridge Suites, and we were just chatting over breakfast. Well, actually, the night before, we were both at the grill, which is the barbecue, and we were just chatting away. And he was like, "Oh, are you here for the games?" Obviously, I didn't know he was Clydesdale Media, and then we become quite friends by the end of the weekend. But I would say he was master of the grill. He was taking a lot of it.
Wow, that doesn't surprise me. He's an expert in many things.
Expert chef.
Well, he's also an expert in CrossFit Masters competition, because he seems to know absolutely everybody that is,
yes,
and has spoken to, it seems, every Masters athlete that decided to compete in any competition. He knows all of them, which is great. Okay. It's like a football match. What's it back up? Oh, I don't know what's going on. There's so many colors. So now I've got a camera rolling. The problem is,
you are not having much luck.
No, and now someone's at my door. I don't know if you can hear that, but
no.
And I know what that is, and I'm glad they're at my door, because but my wife is also at my door. So okay, enter studio. You guys might.
Oh no.
So okay.
What is that?
That is because it won't let me mute the volume completely.
I believe in you.
Kelly will never speak to me again. This is
It's like, what is going on?
But I'll tell you what, I've put that there. No, I can't. We've all been there, Jason. Deep breath. I know,
deep breath.
I know. Okay, that might.
Oh.
No, I mean, it's even worse on there than it is on.
I was going to say, oh, no, that's flashing.
Yeah. I'm leaving that. It was a good idea, but it's not going to work.
It didn't work.
No, it's no. I think it's just I think there's just something wrong with the Scott invite. Scott, do you want an invite? Do you want to jump on?
Yeah.
Take over.
Stay as close as you are, Jason.
Sorry?
Oh no, I was just reading the comments.
Just stay as you are. Yeah. It was
just
absolutely worth. It was much worse trying to add something else. Does Kelly have any teens qualify? Teen qualify?
No. I think we started doing our teens classes possibly about maybe a year ago, I think. Maybe not even that. So we've got a small amount that possibly in a couple of years' time we might have a few. But my daughter didn't do it because she's doing more weightlifting than CrossFit now.
Yeah, she's amazing at weightlifting.
Yeah, she's doing well.
Yeah. When did I see? At FitFest, she was doing the British. What was that? The British Championships, was that, or the English Championships? I can't remember which one it was.
It was English, I think, and British is this the same time as Strength and Depth.
As UK champion, yes. Okay, will she be doing that?
She is, yes.
Yeah. Are you? You're not. Are you competing at UK champion? You're not. No, I was gonna say there's no way.
One, I haven't got a qualifying total, and I think I'd be very, very weak at the moment. So
yeah.
No, yeah, I'll be going to watch.
Yes. Well, yeah. She's so. Does she like you watching? Actually, I mean, or not so much does she like you watching, but obviously you're a very accomplished within CrossFit. You know, you've reached the heights of really what you can achieve as a masters athlete. So is it like, I don't know, I guess, does she feel like, oh, I need to sort of, if I'm competing, I want to be as good as mum, I want to, be hitting those highs, or is it just sort of more?
No, I think it's more like
fun.
an individual. Yeah, she obviously wants to do well for herself. She's got some goals and what she wants to hit and stuff like that. So I think she just goes out. I always say to her, the last comp, I was hiding in the corner, and I was like, "Could you?" And she went, "Mum, I could actually see you out the corner of my eye." But and I was like, "Well, I was trying to hide." But she said, like, once they walk out, it's sort of like it is a bit of a blur. And I sort of remember that when I did the weightlifting and I walked out, you sort of see people, but you don't really see any faces.
Yeah, I guess you're just in the zone, aren't you? You've got to be dialed in at that point. Because it's funny, because like when we're like lifting in the gym, as if you don't want people to walk in front of you, you're like, I can't have anyone in my eye line. It's going to throw me off. Get out my, and then you're like, well, they're going to go out, and there's a whole audience looking at them.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. Question to both of you. By the way, I'm also a masters athlete, not as accomplished as these two.
How old are you, Jason?
I'm 37.
Okay.
Now you're surprised because you've seen me in person and you're thinking you do not.
You're a junior master. I call you a junior master.
A junior master. Oh. Okay. Well, I'll take it.
What do you give to anyone?
I think I've got to ask Jess how old she is, but I feel so rude. It's the funny thing of like growing up in England and having it sort of drilled into you that you must never ask a lady her age.
Yes, said earlier.
And then was I fixing my computer at that moment?
Yeah.
38. There you go.
38. Oh, see, so she's.
And yes, I am from Buffalo.
Junior master too. Anyway, the question is, what advice would you give anyone thinking about getting into CrossFit later in life?
Do you want to go, Jess?
Just ask you, so I started, I don't know what later in life means, but I mean, I find myself all the time saying, I wish I found this when I was 12, but I'm 38. I started when I was 29, like seriously more around when I was 30. It also depends on kind of like your background and what you've done before, like if you've played sports and stuff like that. But especially if you're starting older and you're not used to kind of like that intensity and stuff like that, trying to remember like this stuff. I know it's super cliche, but like this stuff takes time. And like depending on who's in your gym or surrounding you with, and you're trying to like look at these people who've done it forever. And this goes for anybody really, not just later in life. But what I've learned a lot as being like a master's athlete is like quality over quantity has become a huge thing, and recovery and like warming up is not an option. Like it used to be like, oh, maybe I'll do that later. But like that stuff almost matters just as much, if not maybe more than the actual fitness that you're doing. Like I used to be so concerned with doing like 3-4 hours and doing everything. But now I'm like, hey, I mean, pre-prego, like what if I have an hour and a half or I have 2 hours, whatever, what quality things can I get done? And if something's not feeling right, I would be like, hey, this isn't feeling right today, because I had some back issues and still kind of do. Like, hey, this isn't feeling right today. I'm not going to push it. There's no point. What else can I do, or what can I do to still make this quality training? So like the biggest thing is just remember quality over quantity, especially just because, I mean, we're not 20 anymore. I hate saying that, but it's true. That would probably be the biggest thing for myself.
And I would agree on that, the quality over quantity. A lot of people think we've got to train like 6 hours a day. I mean, if I trained for 6 hours a day, I think I'd be dead. But quality over quantity. I started CrossFit when I was 34. So I was quite a later one. But the same, I'd always done some sort of sports, not competitive. So I never, I wasn't in a professional team or anything like that, but I loved going to the gym and, played sport at school. So I sort of had that bit of background. So for people starting it, it's just take your time, listen to your body. And yeah, definitely quality over quantity.
And don't skip steps. Like, don't skip stuff. Because I spent a lot of time, like I learned like Olympic lifting because I never done that before. I'd always like played sports and lifted, but like I had to reteach myself or relearn things to undo things that I taught myself because I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna do whatever I want, or like, I couldn't do a pull-up before I started CrossFit. And I was so mad that I had to do strict before kipping, but that despite what the world wants to think, but it's just so important for longevity and just being safe, like taking the time to do the progressions of like the super cool movements that everyone wants to do, like pull-ups and handstand push-ups and stuff like that, and muscle ups. Do the progressions, do them correctly, and it will pay off later, and you won't have to waste time going back in time and undoing all your bad habits just because you wanted to skip ahead.
Yeah.
And I mean, that sounds mean to say it, but like, the young kids that come in, if they, can't do a pull up and yet they kip themselves, or I mean, I always think of like ring muscle ups as the ultimate example of like, if you don't have the strength to support yourself through all the parts of that movement, the fact that you can just kip yourself to the top of it and then discover like at that moment that you don't have the strength
Yeah.
it is really, is really bad, right? It's even worse if you're, a masters athlete and maybe your shoulders aren't what they once were and your joints aren't as, whereas the kind of kids can sort of get away with some of this stuff. I know it's fun, like seeing the young ones come in and then in such a short period of time get so good, and especially at all those movements. And then and I think that's sometimes where I think some of particularly the older master athletes that have been coming for a long time and have been working through all those steps and all the progressions, and maybe they don't make as massive jumps in their progressions. These are very kind of slow and steady road for them. It can be a little frustrating when you sort of see people come in and they're like, oh, my first week of CrossFit, oh, I can't do anything. And then you see them 3-4 months later and suddenly they're doing everything. And you're like, what? When did you learn to do all of this? But yeah, absolutely. It's, I definitely agree. You've got to do all those steps. There's nothing worse than sort of having to undo it. And I think the time factor is interesting because generally, I think masters athletes or just people that are older, they've got more going on in life quite often. So time is more, and okay, maybe not more going on in life, but more going on in life that you can't sort of opt in and out of. Like if you've got
different priorities,
you've got kids, if you've got, it's like work, kids, family, and then different things you've accumulated into your life over the years. It's not like, just going on holidays or spending, going out with friends and stuff like that. So time is, I don't know about you guys, but for me, like time is so valuable. So the fact that I know, I can go in and in an hour, I can have done the warm up, the workout, the cool down, and I'm out the door. Like that's great. There was a little period when, kind of just around the holiday period in December, because of the opening times of the box and because of my work schedule still just being my normal work schedule, I had to go to a kind of gym just for when the box was closed. And I hated going there. Like I'd go in, I'm just going to go in and get the workout done. And you always spend more than an hour. And it was always just kind of waiting on equipment or trying to like work out where you could go and where you could do your stuff. So, oh no, I just love class. Classes are the best thing. I don't have to worry about if there's enough equipment. That's the coach. He's worried about that. I just turn up and get told, get this, get that, do this, do that. Oh, it's the dream. So, here's a question for you both then. Are masters athletes more or less teachable?
I would, I don't know. Sometimes I've worked with high school kids And sometimes I'm like, man, are adults better or worse than high school kids? Because I've coached both. But I think masters athletes maybe we're more patient or more accepting of that kind of stuff because we know, like, hey, I got to be realistic with what I'm doing. But I mean, I've seen both. I don't know. I can't. I'm like a fence setter on this one. That's hard because I see older athletes and I tell them things and they don't listen. So I don't know. I get both.
Okay, well, Jake is adding another element to it. He's saying that the women are more teachable, the men are worse.
I agree with that. Yes, correct. I will 100% agree with that. Maybe not teachable, but like
take stuff on board.
Take it and use it.
Take it and use itable. Okay, yeah, good.
You can have that. Yep.
Can I have that?
You can have that.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm just curious because I think it's interesting because you're older, you're wiser, so you think like, well, I know, the whole thing of like you know that you know nothing kind of thing. It's like, oh, I know that the coach is there to coach me. They know more than me, so I should listen to them. But then there's also the duality of, but I know lots of things because I'm very experienced.
Yeah, depends on if they're new or not, or if they've been there a while and they're because I think sometimes maybe like they're just like ingrained in their ways and they just don't want to undo it, or they're just fine with not getting certain skills, or like I've seen that before. Like some people just literally want to move and they're like, oh, I don't care if I'm not, progressing to this or using enough or whatever. And they're just like, just let me do my thing. So, yeah.
Well, Clyde says it's just saying that people are individuals basically, and I shouldn't be so mean as to group them all into one thing. And he may be right. But Jake is doubling down on the fact that they're willing to listen to like the older men get, the more excuses they have. So I don't know whose side to take at this point. Interesting. So I guess my follow-up then on all of this is like, Kelly, what do you do in your downtime? Because obviously you've got a lot of, you work, your work is CrossFit because you're coaching. And I guess the same for you, Jess, as well, because like you both work doing CrossFit, then you compete doing CrossFit. So it's such a like big part of your life. But what do you do to kind of switch off from CrossFit, or do you? Or are you just all in all the time? Or is it like, oh, I actually need a break from it sometimes, and this is sort of how I choose to, I don't know.
So obviously spending time with family. We've got a dog, so we go out walking the dog and stuff like that. So that's really our downtime, I would say. Is just making sure that we get to see friends, family, dog walks, depending on the weather here.
I don't know if you've just seen, they're saying about these like 50 days of rain during the summer. I don't know if you've seen that reported. Yeah. So it's going to be Jess, you should come to England. It's apparently going to be the wettest summer like in the last 100 years or something ridiculous like that. They're predicting. So quickly before they say you can't fly anymore, you should just pop on over here.
Just hop on over. It's fine.
Hop on over.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Jake's saying come to the Isle of Man. So
yeah, I gotta do all my traveling I can within the next like 3 months. 3 months. We're just gonna go everywhere. That's all.
Wow, it's exciting though. Are you excited about the
Me?
new arrival?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, sometimes I forget it's happening, and I'm like, I gotta be an adult real quick. Like, I have to be in charge of another human. Like, that's a scary thing. Like, I gotta make yeah. It's like equally scary and exciting. So, I guess it's like the combo you're supposed to have. I don't know.
I mean, it is crazy that they just let there's no background check.
There's no qualifications. You just. If you can do it, that's it. Just have it and then see what happens. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I've worked with kids my whole life, and I have played with my nieces for, their whole life. So hopefully that.
Yeah, but Jess, you get to give them back.
I know that's the best part. I've always said I get to give them back, because they're in New York, so I'll go up there a couple times a year. But the first real dose I got of just all of it was I think it was not this past Christmas, but the Christmas prior, we had a 4-day like driving ban because Buffalo snows. And you weren't like, if you got caught driving, it was like a misdemeanor. It was ridiculous. And it was 4 straight days. So my sister has triplets, all girls. They're 7, so they were like 6 at the time. And it was just 4 straight days of mass chaos. And I'm like, because normally I could like go to the gym or go hide or like go see my husband's family. There was no reprieve. And I'm like, this is why you drink. I get it now. I understand. Okay. And it was just because when I'm there, it's Aunt Jessie and it's just crazy all the time because I play games with them and make up games that my sister hates that she has to play with them later, and we do like, they'll do their little, they call them concerts or they mean competitions. Like they'll do CrossFit randomly around the house and wall walks and jump on stuff. And it was just, wow. I'm like, if 3 is like this, I could probably handle 1. Let's just start there and I should be okay. Hopefully.
And I know we've got like CrossFit Kids and there's also like Grid Kids, but
Mhm.
I mean, you could pioneer Grid Babies.
I mean, why not? Start them young, just right out the womb. Just start doing baby burpees.
Yeah. Well, I remember in lockdown here, like we would do like the online workouts over Zoom with the box, and my camera worked back then. And and I remember doing a death by burpees workout, and my son just absolutely destroyed me on that because they just don't stop. He was doing extra burpees, like that was the madness. I couldn't believe it. Have you just got 1 daughter?
2.
2.
2 girls. 2 girls.
Older is so I know Erin. Is your other one older or younger?
No, younger. So Erin's 19 and Imogen's 17. So they both drive now.
Oh, that's good. Out of the house.
Scary.
Okay.
Get out. Perfect.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're Imogen she is very, very let's say if I chuck something at her, she'll do it. So she has the ability to do toes to bar, do pull-ups. And she got quite into CrossFit, I would say more than Erin before lockdown. And then lockdown hit and basically she sort of went, nah, I'm not doing anything. I was loving life in the garden, destroying the patio with lifting, but she wasn't really interested. So she's just started, because she's at college now, she's just started rejoining back in the classes. So it's quite funny because some newer members that don't know that obviously she's done CrossFit, when she rocks up in a class and knocks out some toes to bar and some butterfly pull-ups, they're like, oh, you can do CrossFit? So yeah.
They're like, oh, it must just be in the genes.
Yeah.
Just the Friel genes.
Genes.
Yeah. I mean, that is interesting because I suppose, especially at that age, like going into a lockdown, that, when that's like when you're so social and you want to be out socializing with your friends all the time. Like, whereas I think for some of us, sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe another little lockdown would be nice. Just give me a break. Just give me a break from people. But my kids would hate it. They want to be out with people all the time, which is wonderful. So I can get that. Yeah, maybe that's a shame, isn't it? Because it obviously can disrupt you in that way. Whereas you're like, okay, let's train, let's get on with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, okay. But it's good that she's back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We're keeping an eye. Let's see who finishes higher at semi-finals next year, whether it's her or Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a question I saw earlier from Scott I thought was quite interesting. Oh, here we are. When you take the floor and need to feel like a badass, what is the one you do or wear to set that tone in your own mind?
That's a good question. I think for me, it's more like before I get out there. Like I'll put my headphones in and there's like specific songs that I'll put on. I mean, I know a lot of people do that, like just to get my mind right a little bit more. Cause usually I'm kind of like laid back and like just kind of going with the flow or whatever. But if I'm like, I gotta like focus right now and be in it and just want to go out there and murder shit, I'll like tune everyone else out. And like kind of go in my own little world before I get out there. So that way when I'm waiting in line, I'm like antsy and ready to go. So clothing wise, what do you wear?
Yeah.
I'll put like eye black on. No, just kidding. I like to wear probably more solids when I compete. I don't know why, but I like to wear more solids.
Kelly just puts on her medals from the previous year.
Yeah.
It's like, listen.
Is there anything you do, Kelly? You got any little sort of rituals or habits?
No, not really. I'm quite chilled in the sort of warm up area. Like, you know, you have a little chat, and then when they corral you, some people have a chat, some have got their headphones in. And I think at that point, I sort of, okay, have a little chat. And then when they walk us down, that's when I sort of, I guess, have a little moment to myself and, okay, it's game time, off we go. But no, nothing. I just try and enjoy every minute on the floor, because every year I just think I might not be back here doing it. So I've just got to make the most of it each year that I'm there.
Yeah. It means nothing. Now we know. What's the now that you mentioned the crowd, I'm interested in this because I remember speaking with Alex Kazan about like her experience at the games last year, and how there was kind of a shift when she started, you know, like in the beginning everyone's all friends and everyone is, you know, and you know, like kind of that CrossFit vibe, everyone's but when she was when she's like getting up into the top 5, maybe even from the top 10, suddenly it gets a little bit colder, people are a little bit less friendly, and it sort of becomes a bit more you know, we're all doing this fun thing together, but maybe you're doing it better than me, or you're trying to take my spot, and that sort of, is it a similar vibe? Because obviously it's still very, very serious what you're doing, as you know, in the masters division, but and I guess you obviously come in with kind of a target on your back as like, well, she's won it multiple times, so she's the one to beat. So
Yeah,
does
I
that
think,
change the way people react, like treat you?
I do think the Masters are a little bit more chilled, I think. You know, I've made so many friends from across the pond, and we keep in contact and check in with each other. Obviously, when you're on the floor and you're competing, you do go into that individual, this is me. But as soon as you finished and you're off the floor, you're back to sort of everyone's friend. So I think the Masters is a little bit more chilled. And like the way I think is every year is a completely different year. So even though I've won it the past 3 years, you know, I didn't go in last year thinking I'm going to win this, and I was still shocked that I won. But this year it's going to be completely different. We've got brand new people in our category. We've got some OGs coming back, like Valerie Volbarol, who's an absolute badass. But we've also got people that have, you know, are still in the mix, and it does depend sometimes on what the workouts are, because last year, like, we had a couple of people that were amazing runners and they did great in the run, but then didn't do very well in like the weightlifting or like the longer metcon. So I just think each year is just completely different. But yeah, I would say we're a little bit more chilled, I think.
I would agree. Like I've noticed, and it also depends on, like I'm kind of, I guess, kind of newer in the masters realm, because I've only been doing it for 3 years. But like I've noticed, like elite competitions or like even like Wadapalooza, like the like the individual divisions, it's a lot more like it's colder. But then I started doing like masters competitions, and we're all like, "Hey, do you have to pee? I have to pee. Like, do you got to pee again? All right, we're old. You got to pee." Like, well, we can relate. We all know, like, hey, we're a little bit older. We're in this together. Especially like at things like legends, like the first day, everybody's a lot more. By the 4th day, you're all like, "Hey, do you guys want to go get a drink?" You know what I mean? So it's definitely more comforting, and we see each other a lot more. Like, there's only so many of us in the same areas, you know, so I think we see each other a lot more, so we become a little bit closer, so it's less like I hate you because you're in my category, you know what I mean? Definitely less chill, or definitely more chill. And I've even being at like even local competitions, like the one I did last year, Tampa Bay Games, I was in the masters division, and I had friends in like either the elite division or RX, and they were like, man, some of these girls are just so mean. Like, I'm trying to talk to them or like warm up with them, and they're like giving me that. I'm like, that sucks. We're all nice to each other. So like, I don't necessarily like. I like, I like having that like that energy and that competitive edge and stuff. But like, sometimes, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm also not about like I'm over the drama part of it. So I like that we're all a little bit more like realistic with each other, and we're not trying to like mean mug each other down. But when it's time to go, like, we'll kick each other's butts, and that's good. Like, that's perfect, like, but when we're off the floor, like, we're relatively nice to each other.
I guess as well, like you've already got a defined personality and like persona,
Yeah.
and then you're also an athlete on top of that. Whereas, when you're in the elite individual, you're an athlete, like that is your persona, right? So there's so much of your identity tied up in being that elite athlete, then where you finish means everything to you. And obviously it's important when you're a masters athlete where you finish, like you're not doing it just for fun. It's, you want to do your best, but you've also maybe just got a bit more maturity and also so much more in your life anyway that you could be like, this is not the end of the world. Like that I tripped on that double under. Like I'll survive. Although Scott points out here, Kelly, you're being called out on the show. You're not allowed to say you're shocked you won if you're passing men in their heats.
Hey, that was one of my favorite workouts. So give me the machines all day. And I love that workout. And it wasn't until afterwards when he said, Kelly, you did realize you passed the men? And I was like, did I? Because you're such in like your lane. And then when I think Dave Castro reposted it, and it was just me by myself just doing my double unders right near the end. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So you forget moments like that. So it's nice to be reminded, Scott.
Yeah. Well, when you have so many of those kind of moments, Kelly, it's hard to remember them all. That's yeah. Well, I mean, you've done so well, and like it's, and obviously for like coming from the UK, it's it's lovely that we have such a kind of such a good representative that we send over to America. We're like, yeah, we'll send Kelly over. She'll represent us over there. Obviously, we've got more English athletes going. Well, UK athletes
we've
going
got
this
quite
year.
a few this year, so that's great.
So that'll be nice. You mentioned some of the OGs coming back. I saw that on the leaderboard as well. I mean, are you excited about that? Like having an opportunity to, have you ever competed like against Val before, or is this going to be the first time?
No, this will be the first time.
Yeah. Oh, that's exciting. She's coming for your crown.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
She's such, like, she's been an individual athlete. She's so experienced. She's great at gymnastics and everything. So, that's a hole that I'm trying to fill, but it's a work in progress.
Yeah. I mean, she was great because, like, I mean, she was still just working, teaching, and qualifying for the game. That was back when you could, which you just generally don't hear about that much anymore. There are still some, but even if they're working, it's usually in a gym, sort of coaching or something. So, exciting time. See, look at this. We're building anticipation for the Masters competition. This is wonderful. This is what we want.
Well, there's a lot of like our generation, whatever you're like, coming up now into the Masters worlds. Like I'm like, God, can these girls get out of my division? Like I was waiting for Sam Briggs to get out, like Jamie Hagia and Carlene Matthews, and I'm like Stacey Tovar. I'm like, can you guys just hurry up and get out, or like wait or whatever? Like stop it.
Jess,
I mean, I would be honored to get my ass beat by any of them, but I'm like, oh, you're taking spots. Like let's just get out.
Yeah. Have you seen who's in my division?
Yeah. So have you got Sam Dancer in yours?
Yeah, I've got Rich Froning in mine. I've got Scott
No big
Panchek
deal.
in mine. So I'm
Easy.
oh, this is nice. How long is this podcast usually? Is it almost over? I mean, if you want it to be over, you can leave, but it's probably wrapping up soon. But Will Morad, yeah. Oh, there we are.
Oh man, yeah. God, he's up there. Yeah.
And I always say that is the only reason the only reason I'm not making it to the games. And if it wasn't for them, that'd be fine. No, I'd be happy to be there for media or something and just see what we've got. Got Belinda in teens, Kringle in individuals, Karen in 65 plus, and that's just from our little island. Yeah, that's it. That is impressive, actually. That's really
That's
impressive.
very good. Very, very good.
I was really happy for Amy Kringle because she had a really good Friday, and she's quite historically had really good Fridays, and then missed out on like making it to the games, and so it was nice to kind of have that really good Friday and then maintain it. But also over the course of the semi-finals, what's interesting is you've seen people have like a really good Friday, Saturday, and still not make it, and so I think like in week one I was seeing people doing really well on Friday and then doing really well on Saturday. I was like, oh yes, that's it, they've made it, they're going to be at the games, and then not. And then the second week, I was really like, oh, I quite like this athlete. I'd really like them to qualify. And they're doing really well Friday, Saturday, but that doesn't mean anything because they can still all change. So I think I'm going into week 3 really, really well prepared on how to handle my emotions when watching this.
Mostly ready.
Yes, mostly ready. Will you be watching the semi-finals this weekend, ladies?
Yeah. I'll probably have to catch. I have grid practice on Saturday, but I'll be like fast forwarding through. Like, all right, where are we at? There's like 3 this weekend, right? That's like hard to keep. Like last weekend was tough with like the time change of Oceania, and I'm like on right now. I'm like, it's Thursday. Oh, it's so many hours difference. Like, like the math to do all that was hard over here. But yeah, trying to keep up with 2 was tough, and then there's 3 this weekend, so that'll be a nice little marathon.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if the time zone swings are as extreme. Maybe not, because I mean the Australian one is the big. Well, and then we had obviously Far East Throwdown week 1, which was another. That was like you turn it on and it was like they were wrapping up the day as the French Throwdown was starting.
And I'm like, which ones did I already watch? Which like that? Yeah, I need like a spreadsheet. Just keep track of what I've already watched and what I haven't watched.
Yeah, very good. This week, obviously, it's kind of the big one in America, I would say. I mean, last week was big, but this one, is it fair to say even bigger? I don't know.
Oh, maybe a little bit, yeah. Because they see like the East is the more difficult, strength of the field of the 2.
Well, I'm going based on they have more qualifying spots. So that will be my, and then Africa and, what's the one called? I'm trying to think what
haven't we watched yet? I don't know.
It's the it's like the South America one, is it? No, like because it's Brazil and all of that. I can't think what it's called now. Can't remember. Anyway, good. Yeah. Any athletes you'll be particularly looking out for, or anybody that anyone I should be looking out for? You got like the inside track on anyone, Jess?
I mean, my friend Nina's going to be competing. So my friend, well, I knew more people that were going to be on teams that unfortunately didn't make it, but I'll be screaming my face off for Nina. Hopefully she'll make it. I don't know off the top of my head anybody else.
Nice. What about you, Kelly?
That I personally know.
No, I'm not too sure without looking who's in what region this week. Yeah,
what I would like, I'd like Jeffrey Adler to win the semi-final, so that going in this year, Justin's won and Adler's won, and so you've got like the 2 former champions have both won their semi-final and they're coming in hot, and it's like, and then it's also even more dramatic if somebody is then like, this is the most exciting it's been for, you had Froning forever, then you had Fraser forever, and now we've actually had a champ dethroned, and then this year potentially is going to be that previous champ and another previous. I'm excited about all of this. Let's go with one last question from Jake here. If someone hosted it, would the ladies attend an in-person semi where you could be judged and recorded rather than at their gym?
1,000% yes.
Yes.
It's like the most pain in the ass.
Yeah.
She's like, "What are you gonna do semis?" I'm like, where is it? I'm like, it's also online. Like, it's just exhausting. It's the worst part of the whole thing. The worst part of the whole thing.
And
It's
as
a
we
pain in the
know,
ass.
they haven't checked a lot of videos anyway, so it's
Yeah,
like
and I'm over here stressing my ass off
yeah.
about like, oh my god, what if like why?
What's
Why?
not right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the sun shining on the clock and you think
Yeah, I'm like, what? Like, did I move like anything? Like, oh my god, was my hair out of the frame? Like, just can they see everything? Like, stressing, and they don't even. That's a rant for another day.
Yeah. Can they see that I'm pregnant? They might not let me progress if they think
I actually had to say, like, listen, I think it was the burpee wall ball one. I was like, don't make fun of the way I do burpees right now. I'm pregnant.
to do like Annie did and like make a little hole so that you
Yeah,
can
I just
sit
put
down and
like
sit
the
on the
hole on
bump
both
and stuff.
sides. Yeah, I wasn't that to that point yet, but now I just do like I call them like the influencer burpees, where my ass just is in the air and I'm just like chest to the floor. You know.
Oh, and Scott says, and now Tia is trying to make it boring again. Oh, I don't know. I mean, Tia is trying to take.
I hope it's entertaining. It is kind of boring when you already know, like, oh, they're ahead by 600 points or they're gonna win. Like, it's way more exciting. Obviously, when you're that person, you want it to be that easy, but like, it's way more exciting to watch when it's like you don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Exciting stuff. Well, I apologize once again that it was a bit of a disaster at the start of the show. Hopefully, it picked up a little bit in the middle, which was nice. I would love to have you both back on in the future when my camera works. And I'd love to know why my camera's not working. That's another thing. But thank you so much for sparing a little bit of time joining me this evening. It's been nice. Let me try and add the camera. Let's see if
now it'll work perfect.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if it works perfectly now? How's that? Still glitchy? No.
Still glitching.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no, you're
Good. I'll play go again. So that's just so you know I was still here. I haven't like just put my pajamas on and got into bed. So like, oh, I'll just do it from bed now. Anyway, thank you so much for coming on. Kelly, all the best with prepping for, well, we'll stay the games. We'll still call it the games, but you know what I mean. Let's go. Let's make it 4. And Jess, I mean, what made me laugh earlier was when you said, oh, I've got grid practice on Saturday. And I'm like, this lady does not slow down.
No, they're gonna have to pull me off the grid. I don't care.
Yeah. So I mean, we haven't spoken about it, but you were because you own one of the teams, don't you?
I'm a co-owner, of the Tampa Bay Brigade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you're still very involved. Just it's not like, oh, sorry, we don't need you anymore.
Oh no, I'm probably more involved this year than any year I've been in before. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So well, we look forward to seeing you there. With what are those things called? Like the little marsupial type things that you can put the baby in. So you'll just be there running down screaming and shouting.
It's like pushing on down the side. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice. So that would be fun for people to watch. They can spectate that. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Some lovely questions as well. You really helped me out because I got knocked off my game very early in this episode. I was scrambling to get back the whole time, which is a little bit disappointing. I will be back on Monday next week. Hopefully, you'll be able to see me. So I've got until Monday to fix that, I guess. It will be a much earlier time. It will be my guest will be the first ever Filipino to make it to semifinals as an individual, which is Aliana Lau, and CrossFit Games athlete, Australian gladiator, and annoyingly handsome man, Khan Porter. So that will be at 10 a.m. in the UK, which is 5 p.m. in the Philippines. I think it's 7 p.m. in Sydney. And it is some awful time in the middle of the night if you're in America. So it'll be like 2 a.m. or something like that. Yeah. So for that reason, potentially I might try and squeeze in another episode in the week at a more favorable time for Americans. Thank you very much, Jess. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, everyone, for putting up with just hearing my voice. I did quite like that, though. But it was distracting. And hopefully I'll see people on Monday.
Thank you.
All right.